Okay. Go ahead and get started. So, thanks Lacey for coming in.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
appreciate that. Today we're just going to talk a little bit, take some time to fill out the professional development plan for Pyramid Plus, the coaching. And we're going to base that on what we've already done, the teapot, which thank you for letting us come in and do that, Patty and I, and then also the inventory of practices that you did and filling out the questionnaire on learning styles. So everything that we get today is going to come from those three tools that we've already, the information that we've already collected from those. And what we're going to do is develop an action plan for a practice-based learning objective based on a skill that you want to learn to implement from the Pyramid Plus. But before we get started, I just kind of wanted to check in with you a little bit and just see what your whole idea of professional development is, how you feel about that, and how you think here at Belle Swan, how you perceive the whole culture of professional development.
Okay, I perceive it as expanding on my skills and developing new skills as well to implement in the classroom. Different ways that I can model and scaffold and teach children.
So how do you feel supported here at Belle Swan?
I do feel supported.
The professional development?
I feel like if I ever have a question or if I need help, there's always somebody who I can go to, a peer that I can communicate with. My administrators, bosses, they're always open to helping too.
Good. How do you feel when they come to you and say, okay, this is something new we're going to do, there's another change happening? What's your...
Excited.
Oh, okay.
Ready to learn it.
Good.
A little nervous how I'll do, but receptive to learning it.
Good. Good. So you're feeling okay about the whole coaching thing then?
Yes.
Great. Great. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
It's really going to be an awesome opportunity, I think, for us, knowing that we're going to be working together next year to just get started with all of this kind of learning. So kind of starting with the learning styles, again, thank you for taking the time to do that. How was it?
Pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. I had to figure out how to enter the numbers in. It went good.
Good.
I had to really think about things.
Oh, okay.
Decide, is that me? No, it's not.
So when you got the results, did it kind of feel like, oh, this is a good representation of me?
It definitely did, because I am I have to be there. I have to listen and take it in, and I do better in a social group where I can talk amongst people and figure out how to solve a problem or do something or be shown.
So the pyramid training that you're doing here kind of facilitates that learning style for you then.
Oh, yes, exactly.
That's great. That's great. Well, it kind of looked like, again, your strongest learning style was the social, but it was interesting because all of the other styles were pretty similar. I mean, the numbers were pretty close, with the exception of the logical, which that was kind of a little bit on the lower side. And it was really interesting because my learning style is very similar to that. Logic on the bottom, except social and what's my solitary learner. I'm more of a solitary learner and you're more of a social learner, which is really interesting. So when I go to a big group like that, I kind of like shut down. But I think it'll be for us to know that and be aware of that as we're going through not only this process, but even all of this next year, working together, knowing that you need that kind of, let's sit down and talk about it, and I need that kind of, let me sit down here first and figure things out, and then we can talk about it. I feel more comfortable with that. And I think that'll should really help with our with the coaching, because a lot of what I do, I'll kind of prepare ahead of time, and then we'll get together on the different areas of the circuit and just kind of talk about it and brainstorm. So hopefully that'll work well. So we are going to plan on using those learning styles to work together. Kind of jumping now to the teapot. So yours more of a, we'll break those down, our learning styles. Some of the strengths that you had, I have this was really, really so much fun to see and be in your classroom. I loved watching you and Kylie work together, just to interact and encourage those little ones. It was really adorable. But this is the kind of the results that we came up with.
Okay.
And kind of as you can see here, there are some key practices that you did really, really well on. These are just really nice strengths. Your schedules and routines, and this kind of also is another paper to kind of look at. Schedules and routines, transitions, supportive conversation. Your conversation and your language, we've talked about this before, is amazing. You respond to the kids, you're at their eye level, you expand on what they're saying, and you give them that a lot of I wonder, and just giving them thought processes for them to really use that language too. That's really great. And you and Kylie work together great. And this one, the intervening with children with persistent challenging behavior, that was one of the where you responded to questions, because we really didn't see that much challenging behavior. And that area looks at what do you do when you have a child specifically in your class with some of that behavior.
Okay.
And you know, during the interview came up with some really good concrete examples of what you would do. So then the emerging skills, those are the ones that weren't at 100%, but they were still really, you know, they were good. Promoting engagement between the children and providing directions, teaching friendship skills, teaching children to express their emotions, and connecting with families. And again, some of those were, the results were from interview questions that we had, because we didn't really see you connecting with families during our time. So the areas that we kind of looked at for possible professional development needs, it was interesting because they involved teaching, specific teaching. Behavioral expectations, social skills and emotional competencies, problem solving, and then this one is reporting the supporting families and the use of the pyramid model. And I think as a whole school, we're seeing that that's a need that we need to really work on. And as a leadership team, that's something that we're going to try to help get in place for all of the teachers. So it won't be you guys having to do it on your own, but you'll have some tools that you can use.
Okay.
And we want to do it school-wide so everybody's kind of on the same page. Let's see. So, this is a copy of the teapot, and Patty is going to go ahead and put it online for you in your professional development folder, so you'll be able to see it and see all of our comments. You know, my notes, I had just so many, I wrote down things that you said, a lot of it, because you have such good language. But I'll include this too, so you can see that.
All right, great.
But this kind of goes through and it has the specifics, so if you have any, and I'll make a copy of this for you too, so you can have that. Or Patty will probably put this one in your professional development folder too. Okay. So you'll have that.
And that's just in her office?
You know, we're going to do, she's in the process right now of working on it, and it's going to be an online.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So you'll be able to see that. And then your inventory of practices. I went through that and kind of saw how really there was a real strong correlation between the results of the teapot and your inventory of practices, which was really, that was really cool to see that. That's the way we like to see things. So kind of from these, I came up with just a few ideas of possible action plans or specific practice-based learning objectives that we could think about, like teaching the problem solving. And that whole area of teaching a skill, I think we could focus it on just the problem solving, but you could carry that over to teaching any other skill. But it's just learning how you teach children something, the steps that you go through. And then another possible area was commenting positively and descriptively on children's behavior and their actions. And then consistently reminding children of posted behavioral expectations and rules, and then linking it back to their behavior throughout the day. So of all of those, do you kind of have an idea of something you might want to implement?
I think I might want to implement the teach problem solving skills. I think that'd be good for me to learn a little bit more about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds really good. So kind of the process now, what we need to do is, this is our action plan.
Okay.
And we want to kind of fill this out so we know who's responsible for what, and kind of go over the whole timeline of this whole circuit. So we have planned when we're just like with the kids. We want to know what's expected, how we know we're making progress, and when we know we're done, and what's going to be next.
Okay.
So this was really nice because that helps us with that. Let me just go ahead and show you this real quickly, the circuit that we're going to go through. So today we're doing the professional development plan, and we're going to come up with our practice-based learning objective and the action plan. And then next, we should look at a calendar. Teaching on topic. That's where the topic of, if we decide we want to do that, which it kind of sounds like the teaching problem-solving skills, I'll kind of do some background information. We'll talk about that, give you some skills and some ideas, just so you know why it's important to do that teaching of those problem-solving skills. And then after that, we'll do a modeling circuit where I'll show you how I would teach solving problem skills.
Okay.
And then you'll get a chance to practice it without the kids.
Okay.
That same thing. And also here, let me just back up here. When we do the coaching on topic, at the very end of it, we're going to set up a rubric of specific skills. This is what it kind of looks like, a skill set rubric. So you'll know very specifically each step of the task that you're learning, and we'll set up what says that if you've met the goal or partially met it or it's unmet. And we'll do that together.
Okay.
So after we do jumping ahead, we'll use that skill set, and when I do the modeling, I'll have you fill it out on me, and then the behavior rehearsal, we'll use it again. And then you get to do the live coaching in the classroom. And then at the end, the very last thing, and I'm really not a whole big part of this, I mean, we'll talk about it, but is the peer-to-peer, where you will maybe teach somebody else that skill that you've learned.
Okay.
You know, it's when you learn a skill, if you really learn it, you're able to teach it to somebody else.
Okay,
Do
sounds
you have any
good.
questions on any of that?
No.
I feel like I'm blah, 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 blah. I don't want to do that. I want you to be able to...
Oh no, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Outlined pretty well in there.
Okay. So the practice-based learning objective, coming up with an idea specifically, something that's measurable. Let's see, maybe something like you will teach problem-solving skills at a large group
Okay.
time. Does that sound?
That sounds good.
That sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay. Lacey will I'm going to say explicitly teach, because that's really, it's not just kind of casual, it's really a planned teaching.
Mm-hmm. Would I teach one specific skill or a couple?
It's the problem solving skills it's where you help the children identify that there's a problem and just take them through that whole process. So there's like about 3 or 4 steps embedded in that teaching of the problem solving skills. And then we can come up with through our action plan a variety of different ways of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can kind of pick and choose what you want to use. Explicitly teach problem solving skills. At large group time.
Okay.
And then from that, then we can, even next steps, we can expand it to taking it to small groups and doing that, and tying in this too of positively and descriptively describing or encouraging the children when they use those problem solving skills after you've taught them. And the next step here is the strengths associated with this objective, and I think one of the strengths for you obviously is your language skills and being able to encourage the children and the language that you use with them to teach it.
Okay.
So your language with the children. Okay, it's a skill. And I think another skill is even just the background that you have in the pyramid tools already.
Yeah.
So we can draw on some of that. So pyramids knowledge. Yeah. Anything else you can think of that you feel is a strength that kind of goes along with this?
I guess it would kind of go along with language, but expanding on ideas.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, just your knowledge of, as it showed here, of challenging behavior. So you're aware of when those problems come up.
Yeah.
Okay. And then areas for improvement associated with this objective.
I think for me, I think it would be a lot more the language of how I'm supposed to walk through it, the steps to walking through it.
Okay. Okay. Knowing the steps for teaching the specific skill.
Yes.
And it really is. It's so interesting because there really are steps that you really need to teach them.
Yeah.
And ways of teaching kids too. Okay. And then, the strengths associated with implementation. You just are amazing with your carry through. Anything I've ever asked, you're right away, immediately.
That's good. Something I wasn't so good at before, but definitely learned to do better.
Well, you've been in school you've had that opportunity to practice that a lot.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and look at a calendar so we can maybe fill this out of who's going to do what and
Okay.
when. I'd really like to, as much as possible, get it done by that first week of August if we can. So today, we did our professional development plan. That was the both of us working on that. So I'm thinking next Wednesday,
Okay.
the 23rd, I have to be here for a tour. But what time do you start working with Lincoln?
12:30.
12:30. So maybe like at 11:45.
Okay.
Would that work?
Yep, that sounds good.
11:30. Okay, so this is gonna be my responsibility. And it's going to be our coaching on topic.
Okay. That's from that pyramid model, the circuit?
Yep, the circuit. Yep. So the initial part for me, I have to prepare.
Okay.
Coaching on topic. And within the next week. So I'll have it all ready. And I'm going to use all the pyramid training.
Okay.
And I'll go to the websites and pull all the information that I can. So you know that it is really evidence-based practices that we're using. Okay. Material. And then I'm going to say next week. That'll give me a couple days to get that done. Okay, then the next one is going to be the both of us meeting. You don't have to do anything for this next meeting.
Okay.
And that will be the actual coaching on topic.
Okay.
we said Wednesday, the 23rd at 11, what do you say, 11:30?
11:30.
11:30, okay, that'll be good. And I'll just bring in these materials. Those are the resources that we'll use. And then to get ready for the modeling, I'm thinking we could actually do the modeling and maybe the behavioral rehearsal.
Okay.
Are Wednesdays a good day for you?
Yeah, and Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are
Okay.
probably best. So any of those
Okay.
days. Wednesdays work good though in the mornings too.
Oh, and also during this one, I guess, I should put this down too. We want to create the skills that rubric.
Okay.
So that'll take a little bit of time to do that.
Thank you for fixing it so kids don't escape. Shall we go get Cole?
And then this one will be the modeling.
Combined with the behavioral rehearsal. Okay.
Yeah, I think we can probably do that.
All right. Sounds great.
When we do these, like with the modeling, before we get started, I'll just kind of tell you what we're going to do, so like a little briefing of it. Then we'll do the actual modeling, and then after we're done, we'll watch the video and kind of do a debrief of it and fill out the skill set rubric at that time.
Okay.
And then we'll do the same thing when you do the behavioral rehearsal. And that's Wednesday the 30th. That might take a little bit longer since we're doing both of them, so do you think maybe 11 would work for you? That would give us plenty of time. Yeah. And for this one, what you'll need to do to prepare for the modeling and the behavioral rehearsal, you'll need to review all of the materials that I give you, the teaching on top, because I'll give you some handouts.
Okay.
I'm going to write that down here. Okay, I'll do it up here. Review. Handouts. And we're both going to be responsible for creating the skill set. And we'll go through that. And then after that we're up here to the live coaching. And we need to do that on a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Okay.
If you would want to, we could, we could do it on the 31st. Would you feel comfortable doing it the next day, or would you rather wait for a week to do it?
The next week would be the... I think I would feel comfortable. I could do the 31st or even the 5th. The 31st works.
The 31st?
The 31st will be fine.
Okay. So, just trying to think. Okay, I'll go ahead and put you down here because you're going to be the primary one doing the live coaching. But I'll be part of it too, because we're going to, before we do it, we'll do the brief again.
Okay.
Questions, and then go into the classroom and do the, and I'm not sure with the modeling if I'll do it in the classroom or just kind of a mock setup. We can talk about that and see what we think would work best. Since it's a Wednesday and you're not in that classroom, we might have to do just the mock training of it.
All right.
Okay, and this one is the live coaching. And what time during your circle time?
We could do. That's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
We could do 9:45.
9:45. Okay. So, do you get into class early? Do you come in on Thursdays early?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could meet just to do the briefing ahead of time. Like at 7:45?
Okay.
That work? Okay, 7:45 for briefing. And then 9:45 for the actual. And then we can debrief maybe on your break that day.
Okay.
So that would be, what's that, like a 2?
12:30.
12:30.
12:45.
12:45.
Yeah.
You know, that won't take long. We'll just watch the video, which will be fun.
Oh.
debriefing.
Okay.
And then the last thing, that'll be, again, the two of us, that'll be the peer-to-peer. And we'll have to get another person. I was thinking about maybe Marcy,
Okay.
because I don't know how much of an opportunity she's had to really teach the problem-solving skills, but she has kids in music all the time.
Yeah, it's a good thing for
And
her
it
to.
might be something that, and there are problems that come up in there.
Oh yeah, I've definitely witnessed them.
It's hard. And what days is she's here on?
She's on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Wednesdays and Thursdays, so maybe August, either the 6th or the 7th?
How about the 6th?
The 6th, okay. And maybe what you can do for this is we can check with her to find out when a good time would be, probably on her break.
Yeah.
And if it can correlate, let me see. The 6th is that's a Wednesday. Oh yeah, so you would be available in the morning.
Yeah, and then her break would fall into probably the same time, in the between 11:30 and 12:30.
Okay. 11:30 to 12:30, and that would be with and Mercy. And if there's a problem and she can't do it, then we can definitely arrange something else. And then the resources that you'll need for that is probably just these handouts that we did during the teaching on topic.
Okay.
You can kind of coordinate those and use some of those with her.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk more about what specifically you're going to do as we get a little bit closer.
All right.
So, any other questions?
No, I think that covered it pretty well.
Great.
I'm excited to learn more
Yeah.
skills on it.
Yeah, this will be good. We have our whole timeline here. We should be done before we start back to school.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.